everybody. How are you today? I wanted to kind of do a follow-up on what I talked about yesterday. We talked about trauma and how this trauma gets trapped within you, but you can heal it. You are able to heal the pieces of your body that hurts. Is where the trauma gets lodged. If you have bad knees, there's probably trauma lodged there. If your back hurts, trauma lodged there. And I mentioned, and I brought it today, although I didn't keep it close enough to me, that this is a great book to read, The Power of Neuroplasticity. I don't have any stake in the game. It's not like if you buy the book, I get a penny or something. I don't get anything. I just think it's a fantastic book to start teaching you that you can always change. Hey, Veronica, you can always change what's in your mind. You can always reframe the stories. Hi, Mimi, how you doing? The stories that you have in your mind, and that helps heal your bodies. You know, as we talked yesterday, if you have a lot of people that have, if it's a family that has issues, you know, it seems like the whole family has cancer, but one doesn't. The one that doesn't is usually the one that is definitively it's never going to happen, because what we put into our minds is what we get back. And I know that sounds impossible, because we've been taught for so many years that our mind is a computer, it's a machine, and it does what it wants to do, and we're just victims of our mind. When in reality, that's not true. You can always redesign your stories. You can always change the stories in your mind. So if you have abuse, or you have even a hurtful moment where you're standing and somebody said something awful to you, you can go through the steps to reframe it. And I offer this class. It's, you know, and I'll put the link below. It's called Redesign Your Life Stories. It's, you know, I think it's a couple bucks, $147, but there could be a special. I don't know. My web person takes care of all that for me. But it takes you through the 5 steps to heal yourself, to heal your stories. Because when you get hurt, it's your stories that are hurting you. It's yourself beating yourself up. And just by reprogramming it, just by changing your view of you and who you are, can change your whole life. I mean, when I hit about 50, I was done. I was like, this is bullshit. I have got to stop being unhappy. I have got to stop not being a nice person. I have got to stop drinking all the time. I have got to get out of my own way. And I had over the years slowly tried to heal myself, but I didn't understand it. But I finally started to study the mind, because I thought, you hear the saying, and the secret really propelled us is, what you think about, you bring about. Well, if that's true, then everything I have in my life, I have co-created that. So if I've co-created this life in my mind, then I can co-create a better life. I can co-create the life that I want. I can have the job that I want, the business that I want, the family that I want, the house, everything. Because I've realized I'm in charge of my thinker. I can co-create anything. And everybody, I don't care who you are that's watching this, you have in your mind co-created your mind. You have co-created this dream that you want. And it sits in your mind, and when you daydream and you look around and you start thinking, that's what you've co-created. And that's why I have an opt-in called Daydreams Are the Blueprint of Your Passion. Because what you daydream is what you want. And what you daydream is also how you redesign your stories. You just start reframing them, telling yourself a different story. So when I think back on the abuse that I suffered as a child, from my first memory till I think I was 12, 13 years old, I have reframed the stories. I have more power in these stories. Now, I'm not saying that, oh my gosh, I've totally healed. Whew, I'm healed. Because I haven't focused 100% on it, because I just want to reframe the hurtful parts. I want to reframe the parts that left bruises on my soul. That's all I care about. I wanted to reframe the part that made me mean. I wanted to reframe the part that wanted to hurt before I got hurt. And I wanted to just be happy. So I focused on those parts of my mind. So when you're looking to redesign your life stories, it's possible. Sure, there's steps to take. Do I think it's hard? Not really. Changing your mind isn't, changing your wiring isn't hard. It's the discipline it takes to change your mind. It's the discipline that it takes to go through it and be willing to look at the hurts. And it's a lot of hurts, to look at the hurts to move forward. So, I mean, change truly does happen in an instant when you're ready. But you've got to have the discipline, you've got to have the patience, you've got to have the willingness to look at things that you swore to yourself you'd never look at. We bury our traumas so deep. I talk to people that are, you know, I know somebody whose shoulder constantly hurt her, always hurt her. And we just started talking and talking. And finally she's like, well, you know, this one time, and she pulls out this traumatic moment. It's like, so you don't think that's where it came from? And she's like, you know, I never thought about it. I said, because you bury it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because my Wi-Fi, we switched Wi-Fi, so I'm hoping it's not my Wi-Fi. But let me plug in to make sure that it's not my Wi-Fi. There we go. But we have to have discipline. We have to have the willingness to change and the willingness to go through the steps that will require you to change. And that's why I developed this program. It's, you know, 5 steps. I like to say it's 5 easy steps, but, you know, you can work through it. And getting back to my shoulder story, once she realized the trauma that she had buried so deep inside, she was like, oh my God, I forgot all about that. She had been hurt. She was swinging, and she had hurt on a swing because somebody came behind her and was a mean person and swung her really hard and pushed her off the swing, and she fell and got hurt and sobbed, and the person just kind of, you know, kicked her and moved on. You know, I'm not helping you. And that's stuck in her heart. And that's kind of how trauma is. It, you know, okay, somebody swung you too high, you fell off the swing, you hurt your shoulder, no big deal. But it's what you make of it. I mean, if it happened to me, maybe I would have been like, I fell off the swing, But it's what you make of it. That's why you can have 2 children in the same families, and they can have alcoholic, abusive parents. And the one child is in prison for robbing banks, and the other child is a successful CEO. Everybody makes what they make of their experiences. Does that make sense? It's what you tell yourself. You know, you hear what everybody says, but it's what you tell yourself. So you can stand in a room of 3 people, and 3 people are told the same exact thing. And one walks away really hurt, and the other 2 walk away going, that's no big deal. Hi, Rena, how you doing? You know, that's no big deal, I'll move on. That's how trauma happens. That's how hurt happens. Everybody interprets bad situations differently. Everybody looks at things from their own lens. So what may not seem traumatic to you is traumatic to somebody else. What may have been a trauma to you, you've buried it so deep you're not willing to look at it. So when you're ready to take a look at it, when you're really ready to start changing your life, to go into the life that you've co-created and bring it out and make it a reality, just jump over, grab my class, Redesign Your Life Story. Like I said, I'll throw I don't know why I always do that when I talk about links, but I always do. I'll throw the link down there for y'all to click on and check it out. My sole purpose is to help people understand that you can reprogram your thinking, that you can take complete and total charge of your life. And if you have bad things happening to you constantly, you're bringing that into your life. If you have great things happening to you constantly, you're bringing that into your life. So you have to make the decision. Do you want good things or bad things? Do you want to always be in pain from a body part because you have the trauma stuck in that part of your body part? Or are you ready to start healing? Are you ready to start digging these childhood shadows, these childhood imprints, this trauma out and bring it out into the open and really start looking at it? Because once you look at it, it's like when we were kids, and I know this is, you know, when we were kids, and, you know, we'd cry and say the boogeyman's under our bed, and, you know, we'd get out of bed and we'd look under and realize there's not a boogeyman there. As we turn adults, the boogeyman's gone. The boogeyman who hurt you or the boogie woman or whatever happened to you is gone because you're an adult now. So it's up to you to heal your boogeyman. It's up to you to heal that part of you that's holding you back from your amazing greatness. So I really hope this helped. I really want to start talking about trauma more. I want to start talking about the pain that comes from trauma. You know, like I said, when I was 50 years old, I said, bullshit, I'm done with it. I'm 60 now and I'm way over it. I think I've healed most of my trauma. Every once in a while something pops up and I'll be like, where'd that come from? But my goal now is to look back and help everybody else. I don't want people to live the life I led. the life of hurt and the life of just constant self-sabotaging. I want people to understand how happy you can be and how awesome your life can be. If you have any questions, please let me know. Write your comments below. Message me. I reply to my messages on Facebook pretty frequently. If you're on YouTube, give me a subscribe and also make comments there. And if you're on my website, look around. My website's almost done. We have one page that has a teeny tiny little error on it, a price error. And then I'll be ready to tell everybody to go check out my new website. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. And remember, you're in charge of you. You're in charge of your happiness. So when you're ready to be happy, give me a call. Bye-bye.